I don't know what
Just
it was.
wasn't in good shape.
After you ran those times out west, I was not, I don't want to say embarrassed, I was just like discouraged.
All right.
Hey.
All right.
So what's the word?
So sister's engagement party was yesterday. It was the last day I was home. Today is the last day, but I'm going to Seattle now for the next month, and then I'll be coming back here to do the Pequot Runner 5-mile race. It's in Southport, Connecticut. It's a pretty casual road race, and I'm gonna do that instead of doing the Manchester race, just because I'm trying to run a good time for myself. And it's really just a stepping stone. We thought we'd sit down real quick, just chat about what the next couple months of what we're trying to do here.
Yeah, I think you've had a good, what has it been, about 5 weeks, Vince?
It's been like 7.
7 weeks? I didn't know it was that long. So I think you've gotten off to a great start. Put it this way, you got your base back. Don't you think you feel pretty comfortable with your base right now?
I'd say coming back home, I was pretty down in the dumps, really not in good shape at all. But you said I could get it back pretty quickly as long as I just put together consistent training.
So I feel like now we have to really crunch it for the next 4 weeks to get ready to race, which is going to be a little different for you. So we'll probably try to do obviously a little faster stuff. I mean, but I'm not going to recommend going down to something crazy like quarters or 300s, because you're going to run a 5-mile race. You don't need that kind of speed for this. I think it's still more stamina. So we'll probably do similar work that we've been doing, the Ks and the miles. Maybe we'll tweak it a little bit. Maybe do something, like maybe open up with a 2-mile around 9:30, 9:20, just to see how you feel it. I'm doing something a little faster, more at 4:40 pace. To sort of feel that, and then how much time you need to see how quick you can recover from that kind of stuff. I think that you could probably do that pretty easily now. So I'm not thinking of it in terms of running a good 2-mile at this time. I'm just thinking of it as just getting comfortable more with 4:45, 4:50 pace over 5 miles.
Probably going to ramp up training to 65 to 70 mile weeks for the next 4 weeks. I want to talk a little bit about the winter training and what we're going to do there for racing as well. We're kind of in a little situation where there's a lot up in the air, but I think we were talking the other night and we were saying the tentative plan would be a little bit to focus on the 3K in the winter and maybe run a mile or a few miles sort of towards the end of the indoor season, but still use the winter season as just a strength building period, right?
Yeah, I agree. I think that in the past, just because of your collegiate, the timing of the races, you had to get in and get miles in as fast as you could because you were trying to qualify, whether it was the DMR or the Opens. So there's a lot of pressure to get your mile times down fast. I think what we're trying to do in the long run is build you to be a stronger runner, and I think part of that is that you seem to have a hole in either your training or your racing at the 2-mile or the 3K level. I would like to see that you could run, easily under 8:40 in the 2, ideally under 8 with the 3K. And I think those are doable, and I'd like to see you get those before you even go back to talk about miles.
Yeah, so currently my PR in the 3K would be from junior year of college, 8:11, which is like pretty bad compared to my mile PR, compared to my 800 PR, and honestly pretty bad compared to like my best cross country stuff. So that area is clearly the weakness. I think it's always been the weakness, and it shows too with my lack of durability in the season and like breaking down quickly or something like that. Like there's no strength there.
Breaking down and then running in races where you got to do heats.
And like, what type of workouts are you trying to have me do in the winter to get that strength stuff better? That 3K strength better?
I'd like to see you first get down closer to 440s in the miles, and probably the Ks, easily under 3, consecutive ones with a short rest, specifically on the 3K. I don't think we have to do significantly more. I just think you just have to get faster at that type of thing. I would test you a little bit. Let's run a 2-mile. Try to an 8:50 or something, just to feel how that sort of thing feels for you. But it isn't a vast difference from what you're doing. Probably a little more focus on just more track intervals.
What is your thoughts on lifting type stuff? Because I haven't been lifting besides doing my own little ankle weight program and band exercise type stuff. I know my dad doesn't really have that qualification for lifting, but just for the viewers, on your thoughts on that.
Well, I think you always have to keep it in perspective. The lifting is for protection of injuries. That's why you're doing it. You're not doing it to become explosive in a 400 or a 200. I mean, that's a different type of strength building, in my opinion. You know, that's just from a distance runner's perspective. I could be totally wrong, but I think I haven't seen, at least in your experience from what you did in college, I never really saw that the lifting, you know, translated into a faster time at a certain point. So I'm not, I would put it this way. I don't mind if you do the lifting, you know, to do some things for strengthening, but more for, you know, sort of as a defensive mechanism against injuries, but not at the expense of you come into a workout and telling me, oh, you know, my legs are sore from my lifting. That's BS. No, we're not, because the focus has to be running. Absolutely, it's about running. It's 95% running. The rest, all that other stuff, it doesn't play in as big. It just doesn't. You know what? Your nutrition, yeah, you got to work on it, you know, and you do, but you can't get crazy and obsess on that stuff. If you can't run fast, if you can't do the splits, you're just not there. I don't care what you do with weights. I don't care what you do with nutrition. You got to do it on the running. It's all about running.
Yeah.
I know that's some old school, but come on, guys, that's what it is.
Yeah, it's true to some degree. That stuff is very, I think that stuff is probably more important than my dad does, but he does bring up good points that sometimes you have to kind of peel it back and look at the simplicity factor that you're just, at the end of the day, you're just trying to run faster. Exactly. So what do you do to run faster?
You run. And we probably should add some hill workouts in. I'm a little disappointed in the last month that we didn't get hills in. When you go back to Seattle, I'm going to have you do more hill workouts, because I would rather see strength come from a hill than from the weight room, because I think it's a different type of strength. It's cardio. I think it relates much more to true running, because it is running, obviously.
So would you say that this is like training block number one in the books?
Yeah,
kind of?
Yeah.
Like the
Unfortunately, I was hoping we would be at this when you came home. I was hoping you were in shape, but you goofed off for a month in August or whatever. You had your mental letdown, or what was it? You tell me. I don't know what it was.
Wasn't in good shape.
After you ran those shitty times out west, I was not, I don't want to say embarrassed. I was just like discouraged, really discouraged. I didn't want to talk to you. And
from coming home to now, what would you, from a 1 to 10 coaching standpoint, what would you rate this block of training?
I thought it was about an 8. I think it was better than, yeah, it was good. It was good. You know, we just had, there were 2 setbacks. There was, you had the sickness, but you had something earlier where your foot was bothering you.
Well, I had to get the
the wisdom teeth too. That's right.
That's
yeah.
all it was.
We lost a couple days on that.
But we knew we were going to lose those days.
Right. And it also took you, when you started, we were on the roads, you weren't right away, you were nursing your foot still. You were sort of, you were on the downside of getting, getting it fixed, which I think you did a good job. And I guess your massages and all that stuff whatever you were doing on the therapy side seems to have worked well.
I would say this would have been one of the harder training blocks to have in terms of just mentally getting through when you suck at first. So
yeah, it was pretty bad when you started, quite honestly. But I think it's hard when it's just the 2 of us. You don't have much distraction. It's a little boring being at home. So I think it's good that you're going back to Seattle, get out in the real world. I prefer to be at a workout, but at least I can see the videos and see what's going on, and talk to you, so you can download really what's going on with your health and your running. So I think, listen, you're not the first guy who trains on his own. I think this can work out, and I'll see you at the end of November.
Yeah, so
we'll be back here.
That's about it for this video, guys. Hopefully this update kind of helped you guys put into perspective where we're at right now. So with that, keep watching the videos. I'll be back in Seattle for a workout video coming up soon. And yeah, see you guys soon.